This might be a long one, so just strap yourself in right now. Um, I just want to talk about Star Wars, just, I know I spent a lot of time talking about DC and whatnot, but I think I should just talk about Star Wars for a few minutes. Now, I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. I can't think of a time where I wasn't a Star Wars fan. It's just always been a part of pop culture, my life, growing up. Um, I'm in my early 20s, so I remember when episodes 1, 2, and 3 came out. Not so much episode 1, but episode 2 and 3, I remember going to the theaters and watching them and loving them. I was a kid. I fucking loved them. It was just opening my mind to this crazy world. The space drama, space epic. And I stood by the prequels for a long time. I understood why some people didn't like it for they didn't like Jar Jar Binks in the first episode, and that the first episode wasn't that good and whatnot. And granted, the episode 1, Phantom Menace, it's not that good. You could totally go without seeing any of that. All you need to really see is like the Darth Maul fight in the end, and that's it for that episode. You don't need to see anything else. But Anakin as a kid, I mean, when you're a kid and you see the one of the heroes of the story as a kid, it's you put yourself in that role. You know what I'm saying? Like easily. And I imagine that's what George Lucas had in mind. And I remember I watched this documentary called "The People versus George Lucas," where it was just a bunch of fucking sweaty nerds complaining about Star Wars prequels, complaining about it, just like they were so fucking upset at how bad the movies were. George Lucas raped their childhood and whatnot. Meanwhile, there's no one else making Star Wars movies but George Lucas, right? He's the only one giving you this, right? He's the one that created this world. He is the creator. He created all these characters, the setting, the lightsabers, right? It was his idea. No one else's. It all came out of his fucking brain, man. And at the end of that documentary, they go back and they say, "Oh, we love you, George Lucas, even though you fucked up the prequels." And that always struck me the wrong. That always struck a bad chord in me. I always felt that the prequels weren't that bad, because I grew up with them, and I have a fondness of watching a Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first episode. You know, and fucking episode 2 where Anakin kills this fucking sand people. He hates sand. All right, he hates sand. Definitely hates sand people. Okay. But episode 3, I remember seeing in theaters and watching his turn to Darth Vader and just being like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life." Because it was connecting everything. It was connecting the classic trilogy with these prequels. Because before that, I mean, before episode 3, it felt like, how the hell are they going to connect these movies? Because you watch the original trilogy and it seems like the technology is just like older, even though it's in the future, so it doesn't make any sense really. But, you know, I like the original trilogy, bad effects and all, bad special effects and all. I like it. Uh, I really love episode 4, A New Hope. It's probably my favorite out of the whole original trilogy. And guess who? Fucking George Lucas directed it. And I just really like it. It feels like such a small movie on such a huge scale. It's just following around Luke Skywalker the whole time and Princess Leia, essentially, the whole time. I mean, you don't really see Han Solo and Chewie by themselves in the movie. They're always with Luke Skywalker or C-3PO. They're always with the rest of the group, you know. And in fact, a lot of the deleted scenes from A New Hope is Han Solo by himself, like talking to Jabba the Hutt, you know, which they edited back in, and now it doesn't really feel like it flows right. So it was probably a better decision to leave that scene out of the movie. But you can't blame George Lucas for wanting to fix the originals if he saw problems with them. I mean, I see problems with the originals still, Uh, the Cantina bar. Why do we need to see the fucking this in episode 4? Why do we need to see a fucking devil looking thing and a bunch of aliens you don't see in any other movie? Why do we need to see any of that? Those are puppets and practical effects and everything, but you don't need to see any of that. It's not like those species ever come back again. So, once again, there's stuff they can cut out with these movies, but George Lucas he wanted to keep expanding and making the worlds bigger and making them feel bigger. That's why he added a lot of these CG scenes in the the originals. And in the prequels, he was literally given full reign to do whatever he wanted. And one of the behind the scenes thing in episode 1, they're watching a finished product of episode 1 of Phantom Menace. And George Lucas, at the end of it, goes, I think I've gone too far here. That always makes me laugh. I'm like, wow. Like, he's admitting to himself that maybe uh, yeah, somebody should have stopped him a little bit. Maybe somebody shouldn't have given him so much control. Yeah, he was realizing, hey, I work a little better if someone's giving me notes, which nobody was doing on episodes 1, 2, and 3. That was all George Lucas by himself, with maybe a little help from like Steven Spielberg. That's it. So, I mean, that's pretty daunting, knowing you gotta take on $100 million film by yourself and no one's gonna help you. Like no one's gonna tell you what's right or wrong. They're just gonna nod their head and be yes men the whole time. That's gonna be kind of scary. If you're George Lucas and no one's gonna like fucking tell you no, because you need some of those people around. And he knew he didn't have any around, so he tried to make the best possible thing he could. And you know what? The prequels are not that bad. They're really not. If you watch them in concession, first of all, fucking Jar Jar Binks, like, they cut a lot of his shit out in episode 3. Like, he only has a small cameo, and he has that line where he gives the emergency powers to Chancellor Palpatine. But, I mean, I still go by the theory that Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord that was working for Palpatine. I like that theory. I think it works well if you watch the movies because nothing contradicts the theory. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the movies and you're thinking Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord, like, shit starts to make a lot of sense. Like, and I mean, nothing contradicts it. It's not like Jar Jar Binks, purposefully saves anybody, right? He's a goof. He's fucking up the whole time in the final battle in the first movie. And the second, they're surrounded, he goes, I surrender, I surrender. Like, instantly, Like, he wasn't even trying to fight the whole time. But, bad acting aside, I mean, let's be honest here. The bad acting in the prequels is kind of like, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to say redeeming, but it makes the movie enjoyable to watch, Because it's like you're watching some old Shakespearean play or something like that. Or it's like horrible fucking stage acting or something like that. And like a big space opera. And I always thought that the acting, it's secondary to what's being said. I feel like there's a lot of big concept ideas with a lot of George Lucas's writing in those movies. And it's all about like trade embargoes and like political shit, which is crazy Star Wars is a kids movie. And definitely the prequels are a kids movie. So like that was pretty crazy and ballsy to put that in a movie. And it got shredded. But it didn't matter. People went to go see all those Star Wars movies, right? Just like they went to go see these new ones instantly without even thinking about it, giving them automatic praise and everything like that. So, I've always been a fan of the original trilogy, but I always, the prequels, I like the prequels. It set up this new version of it, like this new vibrant, like, better looking universe with cooler ships and cooler technology and cooler fucking battles and shit. the action in the prequels is like way fucking better than the originals. Way fucking better. It's not even close. You know, the lightsaber fights, the battle scenes, like it is fucking amazing in the prequels compared to the goddamn original trilogy. And those prequels gave us one of like the greatest animated shows of all time, like Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated show. That show is fucking, it's on par with Batman the Animated Series. It's on par. It is that good. I mean, if you say you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't seen those episodes, you haven't seen that animated series, you're not a Star Wars fan, man. Those fucking episodes are so good. It's on Netflix still. That show's so fucking good. I think it redeems the whole fucking prequel trilogy. Just those 6 seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It redeems the whole fucking trilogy. Especially if you watch them in between episodes 2 and 3. You know? God. God. It's just so good. They bring back Darth Maul. It's just so good. So I've always been in love with Star Wars. I always loved Star Wars. You know? I had all Star Wars toys, Star Wars Legos and shit like that growing up. But then these new movies came out. But then The Force Awakens came out. And I imagine this is how hardcore Star Wars fans felt when The Phantom Menace came out in '99, you know? Just like this overpraise of this movie that's not that good, you know? Because Phantom Menace, it got a lot of praise, man. A lot of good reviews, you know? I was saying it got major hype going into that like opening weekend, and it got bad word of mouth. But all the critics were loving it, you know? So a lot of Star Wars fans were fooling themselves into loving those movies. I mean, I don't think I fooled myself. I think I genuinely loved them for quite a while because I was a kid. I saw movies differently. I wasn't looking at small details and shit like that. I was looking at like the fucking action, like the overall arcing fucking story of the whole trilogy, you know? That's what I was more intrigued by. The fucking lightsaber fights, that shit captured my imagination on a level that the original trilogy did not. And I'll be honest, when me and my friends, when we're sitting down, we're bullshitting, like, we'll just throw out Star Wars quotes to make each other laugh and stuff like that. Like, laugh hard. Like, we'll belly laugh hard. And guess where all the quotes come from? They come from the prequels, not the original trilogy, you know? We've seen all those movies plenty of times. But we always come back to the prequels, you know? Because it's so bad, it's good almost. Like, it's not that it's so bad, it's bad. It's unwatchable. It's definitely not unwatchable. It's fun to watch, almost. Like, the Emperor going, do it. Like, we just say that all day to each other. Do it. Uh, our fucking favorite line. I swear to God, we can't go a week without saying it to each other. And we'll be like getting a text argument, you know? A stupid argument, and then one of us will just go, well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. This shit kills me every time. No matter what the fuck we're talking about, I'll stop everything. And we'll have to respond to each other. Then you are lost. We're dying. It's killing us. We're laughing so hard. Because I don't know, it just brings back the nostalgia, you know? It brings back that time, a better time, I guess. You underestimate my power! And when the Emperor goes, power! When he's killing Samuel L. Jackson. Hurrah, power! He's like yelling power. It's fucking hysterical. So, if those movies were never created, I wouldn't have any of these, like, my days would be a lot less funny, My life would be a lot less funny and enjoyable if I didn't have these prequels. And that's why they're important. That's why they're part of the Star Wars universe. And what they did with The Force Awakens. Completely tanked all that. Completely forgot about all that, right? And it doesn't look like it's going to change with this next one. And yeah, I mean, when I mean, I was excited like everybody else was when Episode 7 was coming out. I mean, admittedly, I was a little pissed off that George Lucas sold to Disney. I was like, why? Why would you do that, dude? Just make Episode 7. You don't have to sell it off. What's wrong with you, man? You're the creator. You can't just sell Star Wars. You're George fucking Lucas. But, he wanted to make, movies he wanted to make. He was tired of Star Wars. He wants to make other movies, you know? He wants to give money to other filmmakers to make movies. And I think I read somewhere he spent like I think he spent in all that billions of dollars he got from Star Wars, he spent it in investing in other filmmakers and other production companies. I think he spent it all already. Just like building up his own fucking film production companies and whatnot. And investing. So, his family's set for generations now, but it just makes me sad every time I think about it. George Lucas sold Star Wars, It's like if you sold your child to slavery, which is the analogy he used, and everybody got on his ass about it, but it's fucking accurate, dude. A movie is your child. And he sold it to the white slavers at Disney. Because that's all they are. Fucking, you think anyone at Disney gives a fuck about Star Wars? You know what I'm saying? They're just milking this cow until everyone gets sick of Star Wars, which is coming up pretty soon. I mean, if The Last Jedi sucks, if the next episode isn't as good, if it just gets a little bit worse every time, people are going to get real sick of this, A Star Wars movie every year, they're going to get real sick of it. I don't give it more than 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Maybe less than 10 years before people really start not liking Star Wars. Because I fucking loved it my whole life. And I was so excited to see Episode 7. I went to Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, when is this going to get good? When is a new story going to happen here? When is something new going to happen? That's all I was thinking the whole fucking time. Why the fuck isn't Han and Chewie in the Millennium Falcon to start the movie? How did they just leave it on a fucking desert planet? Like, what? That's not Tatooine. Why the fuck wasn't that planet Tatooine? Why is it a different desert planet? Like, it looks fucking identical. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And the whole movie's just another fucking Death Star in the end. It's another fucking planet killer that fucking blows up like 5 planets. It kills like 10 billion people. Like, but the fucking destruction in Man of Steel was too much. Oh yeah, 2,000 people dead in Man of Steel. That's way too much. Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me? But blowing up all the planets that were in the prequel trilogy. I think that's what they did, right? In The Force Awakens, aren't all those planets that they blew up, weren't those like the prequel planets? Or were they at different planets entirely? Either way, it's stupid. Either way, it's fucking stupid. Like, how they fucking make that gun? How did they make the goddamn gun? Where do they have time? Where do they have the money? Like, Episode 7 takes place, like, what, 30 years? 25 years after Episode 6? So, are you kidding me right now? It took them 15 years to build a fucking road that's like 2 miles long outside my house. You really think they could fucking... the Empire could build a Death Star? After they built 2 Death Stars. One wasn't even complete all the way when it got blown up. So now they want us to believe that there's a whole planet that's like 100 times the size of a regular Death Star. And they were able to hollow it out and make it a giant fucking gun. It's just a little much. It's a little much. They didn't need to do any of that. They could have made an actual, like, Star Wars story about Luke's kids. Right off the bat. Don't make it a goddamn mystery. It seems like Rey is Luke Skywalker's child. I mean, If she's not, then how the fuck is she so in tune with the Force that she doesn't even need to train? That's the thing that really pissed me off about the movie. Like, this bitch doesn't even need to train or anything. How does she even know how to do the Jedi mind trick? How does she even know to do that? She's been on a fucking desert planet her whole life. Do they got cable out there or something where they're watching Star Wars all the time? Like, how does she know to do that? And how does it work the first time she does it? Like, it took Luke, like, what? Over 6 months, a year to learn that or something like that? However long it took from episode 5 to 6, that time in between, that's how long it took Luke to learn how to do the Jedi mind trick. And she learns how to do it in like seconds. Like seconds. She gets the idea and she does it. She's that in tune with the Force. And she's able to beat a fucking Sith who's been training his whole life with a sword in the Force. And she's able to beat him. Like, easily. Like, he's not even able to fucking scratch her. I don't even think he scratches her. He just fucking beats her easily. She beats him easily. It's fucking... Finn was likable. Finn, the stormtrooper, he was fucking likable. And so was Poe, but that was another problem with the movie. Poe just like fucking, he's in the first 15 minutes of the movie, you're really liking him, and then he just disappears and he's gone until the fucking very end of the film. Like, what the fuck? And apparently he was supposed to die. But he was so good at the beginning they brought him back. And the movie made a shit ton of money. I think it made over $1 billion, and universal critical praise and audience praise. People were just sucking this movie's dick so hard that it just turned me off of Star Wars completely. You know, it just fucking just turned me off, man. I couldn't take it. I was like, wow. Like, you all just in love with this movie? Like, what is so fucking special about it? Fucking Han Solo dies. This movie sucks. This sucks. He dies in the most shitty way possible. And what does Chewie do? He just goes, shoots the guy once. Why don't you keep shooting at the fucking Sith that just killed your fucking best friend ever? You just do one shot and you're like, that's it. I'm just going to run away now. Why wouldn't Chewie just keep shooting at the motherfucker until Chewie died? You know? Make it a little bit more epic. Make it seem like Chewie gave a shit about Han Solo, you know? And then Rogue One came out. And that was supposed to be like a fucking great movie. All this critical praise going in. I went to see that and I'm like, this is fucking trash. I fell asleep twice in the movie. I didn't care at all about this character because I knew they were all going to die. And in the end, they all fucking die. Not a single one gets out. So what the fuck was the point of the movie? Not even a single one gets out to do another fucking spin-off? Nothing? Nothing. Darth Vader's in the movie for one scene. Why wasn't Darth Vader the main villain? Why were we following around this fucking wannabe admiral that's the villain? Like, what? Why the fuck isn't Darth Vader just chasing him down the whole time? And he's the main villain, and they have to run away from Darth Vader the whole movie. Like, that would be fucking pretty cool. Pretty badass. But that doesn't fit in with, like, the toy marketing, you know? The toy marketing, you know, we gotta get a new robot in there. We gotta get new land vehicles in there so we can sell more toys. I mean, granted, that's what George Lucas did with the prequels, but at least at least all the new fucking vehicles and shit, they all had a purpose. They all, like, fit within the universe, and you could see how they evolved into what we see in the original trilogy. But these new movies are just not doing it for me, and I'm not... I used to love Star Wars. Chewbacca's home planet is Kashyyyk. Like, that's just a fact I know because I love Star Wars so much. But it doesn't seem like these movies are getting any better. And The Last Jedi, and they changed the fucking color of the font and no one cares? Right? It's red now. What the fuck? It's always been yellow. Every single movie it has been yellow. And nobody cares that the font's changed color. They are just like a fucking super pathetic nerd like that, but like, that irritates me. Rogue One didn't have an opening crawl. That fucking irritated me. I'm like, this isn't a Star Wars movie. Where's the opening crawl to set up the storyline? This is not a Star Wars movie. What is this? And I might not like watch the prequels all the way through anymore. I don't actually do that. I watch fan edits of the prequels. Those are fucking riveting, dude. It's almost like George Lucas knew that people were going to edit these films for themselves, so he just gave you all the pieces in the prequels to make one badass Star Wars film. There's this one called Star Wars Neon Noir fan edit. Dude, it's fucking dope. Like, they replaced all the Star Wars movie music. They replaced it with like a fucking cyberpunk soundtrack, and they fucking smash all three movies into one movie. It's dope. There's one called The Fall of the Jedi. That's a good one too. There's a bunch of good fan edits of these prequels that's put all three movies into one movie. One like 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour movie sometimes. And it's really good. It's really good. Like, I'll watch it, and then I'll watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Jedi. But I'll be honest, I don't even know if I could sit through Force Awakens again anymore. I tried to. I don't even own it on Blu-ray. I own the 6 movie box set they released for Star Wars like a few years ago. I own that. I don't own Force Awakens. I don't own Rogue One because I don't like them enough. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird time to be living in. When it comes to Star Wars, because literally, like, there was a time where you would go years without Star Wars, right? Like, before I was born, like, it was like 20 years before there was another Star Wars movie, right? People went a long time without seeing Star Wars, and now it's going to be every single year. So, how could you get excited about something that you see all the time? I'm telling you, this shit's going to bottom out, and it's going to bottom out quick. Which sucks, because I used to love Star Wars, and I just can't get behind it anymore. I can't. And, that frustrates me, because it was my whole childhood. My whole childhood was Star Wars and Batman. Star Wars and superheroes. That was my childhood. At least they're getting Batman right. Right? We're finally getting a comic accurate Batman on screen. I mean, I even read Star Wars expansion books. I've read a lot of Dark Horse Star Wars comics. Like, I thought these new movies were going to be the Thrawn trilogy, or something about Luke's kids, his twin kids. I thought it was going to be something to do with the expanded universe shit. There's so many good stories they could show. I've played almost every goddamn Star Wars video game. Knights of the Old Republic, Starfighter, the Battlefront 1 and 2, Battlefront 1 and 2, Force Unleashed 1 and 2. I'm sad they never made a third one for Force Unleashed. I know the second one wasn't that good, but the third one would have been all right. Would have been more of the same, but that's fine with me. It's a good story. Who cares? Gameplay is not king when it comes to video games. God, nerds need to shut the fuck up. Sometimes all you need is a good story, and it doesn't even matter what the fuck the gameplay is. If there's a compelling story to get you through it, it's going to be good. Star Wars Commando. The fucking, Republic Commando. That fucking game's dope. First person shooter. Clone War. Before the fucking movie came out. Like, dude, like, that game's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Think about what these new Star Wars movies could have been, and I mean, I can't hold that against these new ones, that they're not what I thought they would be. But still, just based on what they are by themselves, I feel like there's so many inconsistencies and so many things that make me question the movie that I can't get behind it. like episode 3, we saw them start to build the Death Star. And episode 4, it's just getting completed. You know what I'm saying? It took them like almost 30 years to make one Death Star. And they didn't even finish the second Death Star. Like, we're talking about contractors that were on the planet, on the Death Star, that got killed the second time. That was the whole. That's why I love Clerks, man. That whole fucking rant where he's talking about all the all the workers and contractors that were on that second Death Star that they blew up. Like the rebels, like killed a lot of innocent people. That's they really did, and that's never addressed. It should be, because now they killed a planet-sized gun. How many regular people were just on that planet? The stormtroopers are just people. They're not clones. Clones are different from stormtroopers. Stormtroopers are drafted, right? No, they volunteer. They volunteer, but they're forced to volunteer because it's the Empire. They're just people. That's why Finn's able to, that's why he's so horrified by it. That was like the best part about Force Awakens. That Finn was a normal dude, because that's what most of the stormtroopers are. They're normal people. They're just doing their job. Captain Phasma, what a waste of a fucking character, You got a cool looking character, they did nothing with her. She's just like Boba Fett. Cool looking character, you gotta do nothing with them. I guess that's Star Wars, but fucking hell. I don't know. I'm probably not going to watch the new Star Wars movies in theater. I'm probably not going to go to the theater to watch that. Justice League will be out. I'll probably just watch that again or something. Um, yeah, but I can't see myself sitting in a theater watching that again. It's just, I'm not excited at all. My excitement's at zero, and it's been like at zero since I saw Force Awakens. Like, I wasn't even excited for Rogue One, because I kind of knew what the fuck the movie was going to be. And it didn't even deliver. Like, the movie was just, like, less than what it should have been, right? And some bad CG faces. Like, what? Whoa. Some bad CG character models in that. Pretty noticeable. But, whatever. But everyone just eats it up, man. Everyone just eats it up. Now we're going to be stuck with these Star Wars movies till people realize how much shit they are. Won't be for a while, because there's just, they're making a goddamn Star Wars amusement park now. This is gonna be awesome. I wish I liked the movie. If I loved Force Awakens, I'd be so pumped right now, but I fucking hated it. Fucking hate that movie. I hate Rey. Fuck her. I don't give a fuck that she's a female heroine. What the fuck does that mean, Who cares? Her character sucks. Who gives a fuck that she's a female? You gotta get a good character first that's likable. Then we can fucking talk about gender. It's like the last fucking thing on my mind. Fucking hell. So fucking stupid. Finn's black. She's a woman. They're our new heroes. Like, what else about them? Like, give us something more. Finn was totally awesome, though. I love that guy. That actor was in a movie called Attack the Block, and Nick Frost was in that movie. That movie's fucking great. Boyega, I think his name is. He fucking is a great actor. And he is given so little in The Force Awakens, and he just makes it work, man. Because he's that likable and charming. He makes it work. But Rey, she's just fucking... I want to punch the shit out of her. Like, bitch, like, he's trying to help you. Take his hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really? You're gonna pull, hey, don't grab my hand. Meanwhile, they're getting fucking shot at from, like, the fucking sky, whatever. Like, we're gonna stop everything because you're not comfortable with somebody holding your hand right now. God damn. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I can fix this Millennium Falcon even though I've never fucking flown in a ship my whole life and I've only been working on broken ships. So I don't know what the fucking ship looks like when it's working. How does she know how to do anything she does? They better explain it in the new movie. She's gonna be lifting some rocks in the new movie. Do you see the trailer? The new Jedi trailer? What's the fucking movie called? The Last Jedi? Yeah, that's what it's called. The fucking opening shot is like her hand on the gravel and the dirt is rising around her hand. I'm like, ooh, I wonder where they got that. You know what I'm saying? Totally stole that shit from Zack Snyder. You know what I'm saying? They can't even come up with their own goddamn shots. They gotta take them from other goddamn directors because they're not original enough. And Mark Hamill, I think he was complaining about Luke Skywalker's character and how much he was arguing with the goddamn the people making Star Wars that this ain't Luke Skywalker. Like, I I just have a bad feeling about The Last Jedi. Just have a bad feeling. The red font just doesn't strike me good. The poster doesn't look that good. It looks pretty boring. Looks straight out of the 1960s. It looks so boring. All red and shit. Like, can you be any more ominous or fucking obvious? Not ominous, obvious. Like, you know what I'm saying? That this is like the dark chapter. That this is the Sith chapter. If the bad guy in Force Awakens, if Snoke is not Plagueis, this whole fucking shit is worthless. You know what I'm saying? This whole trilogy is worthless. Because if you made Snoke Plagueis, you would tie in all the goddamn Star Wars films. You know what I'm saying? You would tie in episode fucking 3 to episode 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, one cohesive universe. And it would make sense. That's why there's a giant hole in his face, because Sith Emperor Sidious tried to fucking stab him in his face when he was sleeping, right? Just like he tells Anakin, he was killed in his sleep by his apprentice. Not from a Jedi. I'm telling you, these quotes are amazing. Why do people hate the prequels? Is it possible to learn this power? Dude, this fucking movies. I think the prequels are just much more memorable to me than these goddamn new movies. You know? Whatever, I'm going in circles. You know, I don't like the new movies. I don't care if you like them or don't like them. I just had to say this, you know. Um, but, you know, happy to hear what you think. Um, if you like him, keep that to yourself. I don't need to know. You know, plenty of other people like these fucking movies. You know, go to any other YouTube channel. You know, thumb up their goddamn video if you like these new Star Wars films. Stupid ass fuck. There's fucking millions of fucking YouTube channels out there that just praise Star Wars all day. I don't need to hear no bullshit about people liking these movies. Okay, I don't care. Okay. All right. Have a great day. See you in the next one.